So it is time again to get through some books on my TBR. Okay. So this does not show every book that I own. I've gotten a few books. I have gotten rid of a few books. But I have way too many books on my shelves that I have not yet read that I probably would never read if I was given the choice. So I'm removing the choice and I am going to be choosing 3 books from this TBR jar. So I think I know yellow is classic. Orange is nonfiction. Pink is romance. Purple is, I think, mystery thriller. Blue is, I think, fiction, just general fiction. And then green is fantasy. So I am kind of in a fantasy mood and a general fiction mood. I'm always in a romance mood, but at some point, that's all I'm going to be left with is fantasy, or is one thing I'm not going to have is romance. So, no, casual. So, I think I'm going to choose a blue and a green. So, let's do this blue. Okay. Maybe this isn't general fiction. Okay, I got Clytemnestra. Clytemnestra. I need to figure out where I put this book. Perfect. Found it. It was in my 25 to read in 2025, which is perfect because I think I only chose 1 book off of that list for this month. So, our first book will be Clytemnestra by Constanza Casati. This will be interesting. I'm excited. Put that down here. You can't see it, but it's on the shelf below. Okay, so now let's pick a fantasy. The Sun and Its Shade, I think, is also in the cart. It's not one of my 25 to read 25, but let me go see. Got The Sun and Its Shade. However, it is book number 2. So I am going to be reading The Night and Its Moon by Piper CJ. And then I will, once I finish, I will put the green paper back. So book 2 is The Night and Its Moon by Piper CJ. Also going down on the bottom. Okay. And our last pick, let me look at my May TBR to see what I primarily have, because that'll determine, because I already have a classic. I already have fantasy. I know I have romance. I do not want to read a nonfiction right now. There's too much going on at work. Maybe I can do a thriller. Did I pick a thriller this month? Let's just do a romance. I'm going to be unoriginal. Okay, let's see. Too Hot to Handle. Again, I'm going to have to double check this is the first book because they're all down here. I want to say this is book 1. Let's see. Okay, so this is the first book of the series, which is so very helpful. Because I think I have all 4 of them. That was when I was buying like a whole series at a time. I have since stopped doing that somewhat. But we have Too Hot to Handle by Tessa Bailey. And I have loved her other works, so I'm sure this will be good. But we have Too Hot to Handle. So actually, let me pull our deals. Hello. It was I've not filmed in a while. But I realized that when I don't film, I don't read as much. And I would love to be able to surpass my reading goal of 90 books. As you can see, I'm almost halfway and we're not in June yet. I'm putting the papers inside the books. Okie dokie. So, these are the books that we have for this. I'm going to give myself a week. I think I can read them in a week. Might be a stretch because students are working on research, so I know I won't be able to read at home or at school, but I will be reading at home, so I just need to force myself to read. Okay, so we have Too Hot to Handle by Tessa Bailey for a romance pick. We have The Night and Its Moon by Piper CJ as our fantasy pick. And then we have Clytemnestra by Constanza Casati as our fiction pick. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Oh well. But these are the 3 books that we are going to be reading this week. I will update y'all when I have some things to talk about. So it's been a minute since I've read anything. Been in a major slump. So you saw the intro. That was about like 3 weeks ago. I maybe read 1 book since then. It was not one of those 3 that I chose for the doohickey thingy, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So I did finally start Clytemnestra on Sunday. It is now, no, I started on Saturday. It's now Monday, June 2nd. And I'm back at work for summer school. So I'm going to try to read as much as I can. I've been listening to the book on audio. I'm about, like, I think right at the 40% mark, and I am devastated so far. Like, I knew it was going to be another retelling, kind of like the Song of Achilles, Circe. So I knew my heart was going to break. I just didn't realize how much my heart was going to break. So we're following Clytemnestra. She is, I can't remember her father's name, but Helen is her sister. I'm assuming that's Helen of Troy. And it follows her life because she is this, like, revered warrior in Sparta. And, you know, she falls in love. Things happen. Other forces kind of get in the way. Prophecies get in the way. Her father is an asshole. There's just a lot. So again, I am about like 40% through with the book. I'm hoping to finish this tomorrow. I do have students, so it really depends on how many kids actually show up. I'm hoping all goes smoothly. And like, if we have downtime, I can always put in a headphone and listen, but it's not my first thought to go to my phone. And also, there's not really any service in the school that I'm working at over the summer, so it'll be interesting. I do have the physical book I could bring, but it's not split up very easily. It's by sections and then by chapters, so I'll have to like double check and see like where exactly I am. But all that to say, I'm sorry I'm looking around so much. I'm in a neighborhood. I'm never filming, and I don't know these people in this neighborhood except for my nail lady. So I'm gonna go in and get my nails done. We'll discuss that book that they're gonna be based off of. We haven't decided yet. It's like down to 4 that are coming out this month in June. I'm excited. So I'm gonna go. I think I have like 10 more minutes before I'm gonna go up to her door because I'm a little bit early. But you know, it is what it is. I'd rather be early than be, late. So, say goodbye to my June nails. Or no, my May nails. And we're going to say hello to June. All right. If she lets me film, I'll film. Okay, bye. Excuse the absolutely awful angle, but I am coming in to let you know that I never updated you guys. So, surprise, surprise. Got my nails done. They're incredible. They are based off of the book Ladies' Night, which I will be picking up once I finish my TBR for this month. It looks really cute. I've heard really good reviews about it. All that. Sorry, I am at work right now. Students come in the rooms in about like 30-ish minutes. I haven't clocked in yet, so I'm just biding my time. But I did want to come in and say that I did finish Clytemnestra. I bawled like a baby, and I had students in here. They were doing their independent work at the end of class, and I had a headphone in listening to the remainder of the book, and I should have known that I was going to cry, just like I cried for Circe, just like I cried for Song of Achilles. Same vibes. It follows Clytemnestra. She is a lesser known figure in that world, but she is still very important, and like her story was super important. So I'm glad that it was told, and it was heartbreaking from beginning to end. The things that she went through and her sisters went through and her family in general went through. It sucks. So I am going to be reading today on my Kindle again, when students have free time or when I am on lunch. I am reading The Sun and Its Moon. Okay, The Night and Its Moon by CJ. This is the second book. I am about like 20-ish pages in already, but I'm gonna restart because it's been a minute since I have. I do also think that I'm going to be listening to like one of my TBR books today. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna sneeze. Again, I'm still listening to a few books on my TBR that I have audio. They're a little bit easier to listen to as I'm working, rather than having a Kindle in front of me, because I want to make sure that I'm able to like still look around and focus. Again, this is all during students' independent time, so it's not like I'm doing this during instruction. But I am gonna get ready for the day, get clocked in, and I don't know if I'll have any more reels from today, or if I will check in with y'all tomorrow. It's another day or another week of work, so I will check in later.
This is where the fun begins.
Oh, goodness gracious. I look out and feel rough. Turn this down. It is 100, my car is 106 degrees. It's probably about 100 degrees outside. I have my nephew's baseball. So, doing my aunt duties. But I was trying to read. I wasn't going to be reading during his game because I'm too focused on the game. Can't focus on the book. So the games are over today. I have been listening to some of my TBR for the month just to like dwindle it down. And I have about I have it on 1.5 or 1.75 speed. So I have about 45 minutes left of The Handmaid's Tale. So I'm going to continue reading that, I think. But I do have the audio now of The Night and Its Moon, which is the book that I'm currently reading. I restarted it, was skipping through a lot of things. I'm like, oh, I remember that. But I'm going to listen to the audio now that I have access to it. But we are headed home. We, as in me, myself, and I, got myself a lemon daze. Ugh. Got a strawberry. Yum, delicious. I've already chugged 2 of my waters. So I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna finish listening to The Handmaid's Tale, but I have a lot of laundry and cleaning to do today. So I'm going to listen to The Night and Its Moon when I get home. So that way I don't feel like I'm interrupting Handmaid's Tale. Because I am so close to being done. And of course, this week is probably a fun week to be reading it with all of the things going on. So we'll see. All right, so I am going to check in with y'all once I've made some progress with The Night and Its Moon. Bye. Hi. It has been a long weekend. Last I checked in with y'all, I was finishing up baseball for my nephew. I finished up my TBR read, which is The Handmaid's Tale, and I restarted on audio The Night and Its Moon. I am at the 50%. I'm just over 50%. I think I'm at 52% looking at what Hoopla is saying. I'm on chapter 27. So this follows Knox and Amaris. They are both orphaned or living at this orphanage. We know that they are quite literally night and day with their appearances, whereas Knox is like more darker skinned, darker complexion, like hair or whatever. Amaris is quite literally, it looks like she's made of snow. She's pale white hair or silver hair, white eyelashes, very like pure in all its senses. And so they form this bond that is intense. But at this point in the story, they are separated um, through some events that happened pretty early on in the book. But it's very interesting so far. I'm enjoying it. I have a few more chores that I need to do around the house, so I've been listening to this through audio. I should, fingers crossed, finish this today. I do still have obviously one more book, which is the Too Hot to Handle, but it's a small book, so I'm strongly believing that I will finish that within a few hours, if I can, sit down and just read. So I am going to continue reading for just a moment. I think I'm going to switch over. Let me get this sticker off. I've had this book for a hot minute now. Most of my books still have the sticker from Target or Barnes or wherever, because I'm too lazy to take them off when I get them. No, I just have that residue all over the place, which is fun. So I am going to keep reading The Night and Its Moon. I am loving this. It's interesting. It is very interesting. So this video will be coming up late because it is Sunday that I am reading or filming this right now, and I'm only halfway through book 2, but I am determined to finish this, so it may just be up late. So let's read. Friends, I finished. I finished this today. I was really proud of myself. I was able to listen at work because the kids were doing primarily independent work today. So I finished The Night and Its Moon. Again, I don't know if I gave you the synopsis or not, but this follows Knox and Amaris. They grew up together in this orphanage, and are like split apart. So it's really their journey of like, is fate going to bring them back together? We learn secrets about them. Things are revealed. I really like the way that this book ended because it set it up nicely for the next book, which is the Sun. Pause. It deals with magic, fae, demons, that kind of stuff. It's really interesting. Um, I am glad that I picked this up. I don't remember when I purchased this. Sorry, I'm peeling off like residue in the sticker. I don't remember when I picked this up. I think it was one of those, is like on a whim. It was a set, so I picked up the whole set because that's how series works. Let me figure out what that other book is called. It's The Sun and Its Shade. I thought it was over in my 25 to read and 25 cart because that's where some of my extra books landed. But it was not. I apparently moved it over. But that will be a read soon. I'm not sure when because, again, these are hefty. Let me see if they have the audio for the other one, and then I will probably read that in the near future. I'm not going to give a month because then I won't read it that month. But book done. That is 2 books completed for the TBR Takedown. And now it is time for book 3, which is Too Hot to Handle by Tessa Bailey. This is following Rita Clarkson and Jasper Ellis. Looks interesting. I think this is the first book in the series. I think this is book 1. So I will have to I remember double checking this earlier. It is the first book. So I am going to be reading this. This shouldn't take forever, but I do not have an audio for it, so I will have to read it physically, which shouldn't be a problem. It's just the fact of like finding the time. Now, I do have time today. I will be reading a little bit at least, but I can't promise it'll be like a lot to be read. I would love to sit down and just read this, but I have a mountain of laundry to do and put away, and to clean out my car, which has more laundry in it because I leave all of my cardigans in there from work because it's too hot in the afternoon. So I will get started on this soon. For sure tonight. It's only like 4:30. So I've got the time. Let me just get through a few mundane chores. And I'm sorry for the lighting today. I didn't set this up properly like I normally do. So hope you love the shadow of my glasses. Casual. So I will check in with y'all later. Hi. I am officially at the 50-ish% mark. I am on page 155 out of 302, it looks like. I am enjoying this much more than I expected. I've read Tessa Bailey's work before, loved it, always rated it pretty high. But I think because I had already bought the entire series or entire like collection of this series, I was a little bit hesitant to start. But I'm really glad that I did. I'm liking this. I'm only like 2 hours in and I'm already halfway through. For some reason, my brain was thinking this was going to be like a closed door kind of situation. not closed door at all. In fact, public. But like nothing has like fully happened, but things have happened in that realm, if that makes sense. So I have a few things to get done before I get back into reading. So this is my little brain break. But I very much know that I will finish this book tonight. Again, I only have like 150 pages left, and it is so far so good. I'm really enjoying it. It's because of the miscommunication going on right now. It's sitting at like a 4, but I'm interested to see how like they've started talking about like issues. So like they're getting over the miscommunication, if that makes sense. So it's improving, if that makes sense. So I am excited. I am going to keep reading this. Got a few things to get done around the house, like, laundry, feeding myself, things like that, casual. But I'm excited. Okay. I will check in once I am finished. Hi, friends. So I have officially finished Too Hot to Handle by Tessa Bailey. I finished it last night. Oh, sorry. I finished it last night, but it was super late, and my niece and nephew were staying over, so it was not feasible for me to be talking amongst this wall because my niece's bed is right there. So I enjoyed this book. It was a quick read. It was an easy read. I loved the message within the story about family. However, it was a little too insta love. I mean, everything in this book happens within a few days. And while like cool, I mean, it was a great story. So it's hard to explain without giving things away. But essentially, we're following Rita, who is a chef. She's taken after her mother, who is a famous chef. And after some things happen, um, her and her siblings are going to go to New York. They're going to go and fulfill their mother's last dying wish, which was for them all to go and jump into, I think, the Hudson River on New Year's Eve. So she has to talk them into going on this vacation, but she eventually does. So there are 4 siblings. Rita is one of them. Then she has sister Peggy, brother Aaron, and brother Belmont, I think is his name. Yeah, Belmont. And so they're not really estranged, but they're not close. They don't find their way to each other. They have to like, someone has to like seek everyone out to bring you together. And this just so happened to be their mother's death, and the events that followed soon after. So I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this. This is Rita's story. This is the first of 4 books, so each book is going to be following a sibling. Um, so it's Rita with Jasper. They get stuck in this little small town due to their car breaking down, and Jasper happens to be there. He's the town bad boy, even though he doesn't want to be. And again, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I gave this a 4-star purely based on vibes. Again, it would have been a 5-star if it wasn't for like, oh, everything happened within a week. But again, I really enjoyed this. And the spice was spicing. I really enjoyed this. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. So I gave this 4-star. So let's discuss the other books that I read, and because it's been a minute since I have really dived into this. So We have Too Hot to Handle, which I gave 4 star. Then we have Clytemnestra, which was a Greek mythology kind of retelling based on Clytemnestra and her story. I bawled, I cried, I could not put this down. I listened to it on audio and didn't want to stop listening to it. So this got a 5 star for me. Again, heartbreak, shattered. It's crazy. Um, but that's how I felt about every single like Greek mythology retelling. Like Circe and Song of Achilles, bawled at all those. So I really enjoyed this. I would highly recommend. Please read this. And then, of course, we started a new series with The Night and Its Moon. This is book 1. I think there's 3 books right now. I have the first 2. So um, the little slippy slip is going to be put back into the jar because I don't think I have. I had the second book on here, not the first book. So I'm going to put this back into the jar. But that's 3 books down. I gave this a 4 star. I really enjoyed this. It had a lot of promise. It just took me a minute to get into the book. That's the only reason it didn't get a 5 star. But I am hopeful for the next book. It set it up really well for this series to continue. So I am super excited for this. This is why I like doing the TBR because I would not have picked this up because it's kind of daunting to me. However, I'm really glad that I did. So our 3 books for this month were a hit, and I am so glad that I got this done. You know? Yeah. So I will check in with y'all soon. Um, if there's anything that you want to see, any books that you think I should read, please let me know. I'm always down for a good book recommendation. I probably already have the book, which is the problem with the TBR jar. I have too many books. So I hope that y'all enjoyed. I look forward to hearing from y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful week, a wonderful day, wonderful life. Let me know what you want to see. Bye.